In the sticky heat of a Brisbane summer, Sarah Thompson's little weatherboard house in Paddington sat quiet most days, curtains half drawn, the front yard a bit overgrown. It hadn't always been like that. 2 years earlier, Sarah had been the sort of mum other parents envied, always at school pickup with a smile, Jake's lunchbox packed with shapes cut into stars, volunteering for the P&C sausage sizzles. But then the factory where she'd worked for 12 years shut its gates, redundancies handed out like party favors. The bills piled up quick smart, the electricity got cut off twice, and the black dog settled on her chest and wouldn't budge. Jake was 10 now, a bright kid with autism who loved trains and hated loud noises. School had been ringing Sarah every second day, meltdowns in the playground, bolting from class, teachers saying he needed more support than we can give. Sarah was doing her best, speech therapy when she could afford it, occupational therapy waitlists that stretched for miles, nights spent Googling strategies till her eyes burned. But exhaustion crept in. Some mornings she couldn't get out of bed until noon. Dishes stacked up. The house smelled of unopened mail and instant noodles. Next door lived Karen Buckley, president of the street's neighborhood watch and self-appointed guardian of standards. Karen had watched the slow slide with growing disapproval. That poor little boy, she'd tuck to anyone who'd listen at the local cafe. Running wild while she sleeps all day. It's neglect, plain and simple. Karen had opinions on everything, how lawns should be mowed, how kids should behave, how a proper mother should cope. Sarah, in Karen's eyes, was failing on every count. One Tuesday afternoon, after Jake came home with a note saying he'd thrown a chair across the room, Karen made the call. She dialed the Department of Child Safety hotline and spoke in that calm, concerned voice she'd perfected. "I'm worried about the welfare of a child," she began. She painted a picture, a house in chaos, a mother who barely opened the door, a little boy left to fend for himself. "She's not coping," Karen said. "Someone needs to step in before something terrible happens." 2 days later, a white government car pulled up outside. 2 caseworkers, a young bloke named Trent and an older woman called Margaret, knocked on Sarah's door at 9 in the morning. Sarah answered in her dressing gown, hair unbrushed, eyes red from crying. Jake hovered behind her, clutching his favorite Thomas the Tank Engine. The workers were polite but firm. They walked through the house, noting the unwashed plates, the laundry mountain, the overdue bills pinned to the fridge with magnets. They spoke to Jake alone in his bedroom while Sarah waited in the kitchen, heart hammering. By the end of the visit, they'd made their decision. "We're concerned about Jake's safety and well-being," Margaret said gently. "We're going to place him in emergency respite care while we do a proper assessment." "It's temporary," Sarah begged, tears streaming. "He needs me. I'm his mum. I'm trying." But the paperwork was already filled out. Trent radioed for a support worker to collect Jake that afternoon. When the second car arrived, Jake screamed and clung to Sarah's legs. It took both workers to prise him away. Sarah collapsed on the front steps as they drove off, Jake's face pressed against the back window, his mouth open in a silent wail. Karen watched from behind her lace curtains, arms folded, satisfied she'd done the right thing. That night, Sarah sat in the empty house, the silence deafening. She texted her sister Lisa in Sydney. "They took him. I don't know what to do." Lisa's reply came hours later. "You need help, Sa. Professional help." Sarah didn't know it then, but the wheels were already turning, neighbors gossiping over back fences, Karen telling anyone who'd listen that Sarah was a dumb chook who couldn't look after her own kid. The judgment spread like wildfire through the suburb. No one asked Sarah how she was. No one offered to mind Jake for an afternoon so she could breathe. They just watched, and waited, and decided she wasn't worth saving. With Jake gone, the little house in Paddington felt like a shell. Sarah wandered from room to room, touching his train tracks still laid out on the carpet, the half-finished Lego station on the kitchen table. The silence pressed in, heavier than the summer humidity. She stopped answering the door, stopped checking her phone. Food lost its taste. Sleep came in fits, haunted by the echo of Jake's screams as they drove away. Days blurred into weeks. The black dog wasn't just sitting on her chest anymore, it had moved in permanently. Her sister Lisa rang from Sydney a fortnight after the removal. Sarah hadn't spoken to her in months, they'd never been close. Lisa was the older one, the successful one, married to a property developer, no kids, always flashing new handbags and overseas holidays on Instagram. "I saw your text," Lisa said, voice clipped. "Sounds like you're in a bad way. Have you seen a doctor?" Sarah mumbled something about trying to get an appointment. Lisa cut her off. You need proper help, sir. Not just talk therapy. Real help. I'm worried about you. 2 days later, Lisa arrived unannounced, suitcase in tow. She breezed through the house like a cyclone, opening curtains, tutting at the mess. This place is a health hazard, she declared. Sarah sat on the couch in the same tracksuit she'd worn for days, staring at nothing. Lisa made phone calls, to a private psychiatrist she knew through work, to a GP in the city who bulk billed. She bundled Sarah into the car and drove her to appointments Sarah barely registered. The psych wrote a script for antidepressants and something stronger, to take the edge off. Lisa filled the prescriptions herself. Within a week, Sarah was foggy, movements slow, words harder to find. Lisa moved into the spare room, just till you're back on your feet. She took over the finances, logged into Sarah's bank accounts, paid a few overdue bills. Power of attorney would make this easier, she mentioned one night over takeaway Thai. Sarah, head swimming from the meds, signed whatever was put in front of her. She just wanted the noise in her brain to stop. Lisa wasted no time. She rang the public trustee, spun a story about her vulnerable sister, who'd lost custody and was now acutely unwell. She emailed the psychiatrist a carefully worded update. Sarah wasn't eating, wasn't washing, had started talking to herself. The doctor, never having met Sarah without Lisa present, agreed to support an involuntary treatment order. Lisa fronted up to the magistrate with a folder thick with evidence, photos of the messy house, printouts of concerned texts from neighbors. Karen had been only too happy to help. School reports about Jake's behavior. The hearing was over in 20 minutes. Sarah sat slumped in a plastic chair, barely able to lift her head. The magistrate glanced at the paperwork, asked Lisa a few questions, then signed the order. For your own safety, Miss Thompson, he said. That afternoon, 2 mental health nurses arrived with an ambulance. Sarah didn't fight. She let them lead her out like a sleepwalker. Lisa stood on the veranda, arms crossed, watching the vehicle disappear down the street. In the psych ward at the Royal Brisbane, Sarah was put on a locked acute unit. More meds, group therapy she couldn't concentrate on, nurses checking on her every hour. Lisa visited once a week, bringing clean clothes and updates that sounded suspiciously upbeat. Jake's settling in at the group home, she'd say. They've got proper structure there. Better for him, really. She never brought photos. Sarah asked to see her son. Lisa said the caseworkers thought it would set back her recovery. Sarah stopped asking. Back in Paddington, Lisa got busy. She changed the locks, for security. She listed Sarah's little investment flat in Newstead, bought years ago with redundancy money, with a flashy real estate agent who didn't ask too many questions. Power of attorney paperwork was enough. Lisa told herself she was just streamlining things, so Sarah wouldn't have to worry when she eventually got out. The flat would sell quick, riverside views, hot market. Plenty of cash to cover care costs. Whatever was left could go towards Jake's future. That's what she told the family group chat anyway. In the evenings, Lisa sat on Sarah's veranda with a glass of wine, scrolling through buyer inquiries. Karen from next door popped over for a gossip. You did the right thing, Karen said, patting Lisa's arm. She's a stupid bloody chicken, always was. Kid in a proper facility, her in the psych unit, best outcome all round. Lisa nodded, topping up their glasses. Neither woman noticed the for sale sign going up across town, or the way Sarah's name was slowly being erased from everything that had ever been hers. Months ticked by in the psych ward, each one bleeding into the next. Sarah's world shrank to the locked unit's routine. Wake up bell at 6, meds at 7, bland breakfast in the dining room, group therapy where she sat mute while others spilled their guts. The heavy antipsychotics dulled everything, thoughts, feelings, even the ache of missing Jake. Visits from Lisa grew less frequent, excuses came via text, tied up with work, love. You focus on getting better. Sarah stopped expecting anyone. She spent hours staring at the tiny courtyard garden, watching leaves fall and regrow, wondering if her son was okay. Across town, in a trendy riverside pocket of Newstead, Sarah's 2-bedroom flat sat empty. She'd bought it off the plan a decade earlier with her redundancy payout, a smart little investment she'd rented out to cover the mortgage. When Jake came along, she'd planned to move them both in once the tenants left. But life got in the way, and it stayed a rental until the last lease ended 6 months ago. Now it was vacant, waiting for her to sort it out. Or so she thought. Beck Riley had known Sarah since year 8 at Indooroopilly State High. They'd lost touch over the years, marriages, kids, moves, but reconnected on Facebook a few years back. Beck lived in the Gold Coast now, running a hair salon, single mum to twin girls. Every few months they'd message about old times, swap memes, promise to catch up for coffee. When Sarah's post suddenly stopped around Anzac Day, Beck figured she was just flat out with Jake. By September, though, the silence felt wrong. No birthday post for Jake, no replies to Beck's, "Hey stranger, you alive?" messages. Worry nagged at her. One Friday in late October, Beck had a rare day off and decided to drive up to Brisbane. Surprise road trip, she told the twins. She packed Tim Tams and a bottle of Sauv Blanc, programmed Sarah's Paddington address into the GPS, and hit the M1. Traffic was a nightmare, but by mid-afternoon she pulled into the familiar street. The house looked sadder than she remembered, paint peeling, letterbox overflowing. No answer at the door. Next door's curtain twitched. Karen Buckley appeared like a bad smell. "You looking for Sarah?" Karen asked, arms folded tight. "Yeah, mate. Haven't heard from her in months." "She okay?" Karen's lips thinned. "Not really. Poor thing had a breakdown. Kids in care, she's getting help up at the Royal." The way she said, help, dripped with judgment. Beck's stomach dropped. "What? Jake's in a home? Since when?" Karen shrugged, clearly enjoying the drama. "Months ago. Her sister's handling everything now. Lovely woman, Lisa. Very capable." Beck thanked her stiffly and drove away, head spinning. She tried Sarah's mobile, straight to voicemail. She messaged Lisa on Facebook, got no reply. On impulse, she Googled the address of Sarah's investment flat. She remembered the postcode from old conversations. Figured if no one was at the house, maybe Sarah had moved there temporarily. Half an hour later she parked outside the sleek Newstead complex, river glinting beyond the balconies. The first thing she saw was the for sale sign hammered into the garden bed, auction this Saturday, contact agent. A removalist truck was backed up to the entrance, blokes hauling out boxes and furniture. Beck's heart started thumping. Sarah hadn't mentioned selling. She marched up to the slick-suited real estate agent supervising the load. "Excuse me, whose unit is this?" The agent barely glanced up from his phone. "Owner's instructions. Lisa Thompson, acting on behalf of Sarah Thompson. All above board." Beck felt the blood rush to her ears. "Lisa, Sarah's sister. Where's Sarah in all this?" "Family matter, love. I just sell houses." He turned away. One of the removalists, a young bloke with a man bun, overheard. "Mate, this place was empty when we got here. Just some old furniture and boxes of kid stuff. Owner said clear it all out for staging." Beck's hands shook as she dialed the psych ward's main number she'd found online. After 3 transfers and a stern, visitors by appointment only, a nurse finally put her through to Sarah's extension. The phone rang and rang. Then a faint, familiar voice, "Hello. Sir, it's Beck. Oh my God, are you okay?" A long pause. Then a whisper, "Beck. They took Jake. Lisa said I was sick. I'm in hospital. I don't know how long." Beck gripped the phone tighter. "Listen to me. I'm at your Newstead flat right now. There's a bloody for sale sign and removalists emptying the joint. The agent says Lisa's selling it. For you." Silence. Then a choked sound, half sob, half gasp. "She can't. It's mine. It's for Jake. She's doing it, mate. Right now." Beck's voice cracked with fury. "That bloody imposter is selling your place out from under you." Down the line came the sound of Sarah breaking, raw, guttural sobs that echoed through the ward corridor. A nurse's voice in the background, "Time's up, Sarah. Meds round." The line went dead. Beck stood on the footpath, staring at the truck swallowing Sarah's life piece by piece. Rage boiled up so fierce she could hardly breathe. This wasn't right. None of it was bloody right. She took photos of the sign, the truck, the agent's business card. Then she jumped back in her car, tires screeching as she headed for the nearest police station. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Beck didn't waste a second. She stormed into the Fortitude Valley police station that same afternoon, photos on her phone, voice shaking with fury. The sergeant on duty listened, eyebrows climbing higher with every detail. Child removal, involuntary committal, dodgy power of attorney, a flat being flogged off by someone who wasn't even the legal guardian. "This smells off," he muttered, picking up the phone to the fraud squad. By evening, a detective was assigned. They froze the auction pending investigation. The real estate agent got a very uncomfortable call. "Pull the listing, now." Word spread like a bushfire in dry season. Beck posted anonymously on a Brisbane mums Facebook group. Anyone else had family use mental health orders to steal property. The comments exploded. Women shared horror stories, elderly parents sectioned so houses could be sold, disabled siblings stripped of assets. A current affairs producer saw the thread, messaged Beck privately. Within days, a crew from A Current Affair was camped outside the Newstead complex, microphone in the agent's face. "Did you verify the seller's authority?" The agent went pale. Lisa's name started trending locally on Twitter under #GuardianShiport. The public guardian's office got hammered with complaints. An urgent review was launched into how Lisa had obtained enduring power of attorney while Sarah was heavily medicated and sectioned. The psychiatrist who'd backed the involuntary order was interviewed. Notes showed he'd never seen Sarah without Lisa present. Red flags everywhere. The magistrate who'd signed the treatment order requested the file be reopened. Sarah's meds were reviewed by an independent doctor, doses slashed, clear ahead within weeks. Lawyers got involved pro bono. Legal Aid Queensland paired Sarah with a fierce family law barrister named Mia who specialised in capacity and guardianship disputes. Mia marched into the ward with a laptop, showed Sarah the bank statements Lisa had accessed, the real estate contract with Lisa's signature, on behalf of. Sarah cried, but this time it was angry tears. "I want my son back," she said, voice steady for the first time in months. "And I want her bloody charged." The Department of Child Safety squirmed under the spotlight. Case files were subpoenaed. Karen from next door suddenly couldn't remember what she'd told the hotline. Jake, who'd been shuffled between two group homes and lost weight from stress, was moved to temporary foster care with a specialist autism family while assessments were redone. The new caseworker, ashamed of her predecessors, organized supervised visits at a park near the hospital. The first time Jake saw his mum, he ran full pelt and nearly knocked her over. "Mummy, I waited," he sobbed into her neck. Sarah held him so tight she could feel his heartbeat. "I'm here now, mate. Not going anywhere." Lisa lawyered up fast, spinning a tale of acting in her sister's best interests. But the evidence stacked against her. Emails to the agent bragging about the quick sale, texts to her husband about finally getting what's owed. Police executed a search warrant on her Sydney home. They found Sarah's jewelry in a drawer, bank transfers to Lisa's personal account labeled management fees. Charges were laid: fraud, forgery, obtaining financial advantage by deception. The story went national. Headlines screamed, "Greedy sister locks mum in psych ward, tries to steal her home." Talkback radio lit up with callers raging about the system, how easy it was to weaponize mental health laws, how vulnerable single mums were prime targets. Politicians promised inquiries. Support services for parents of autistic kids got a funding boost in the next state budget. Sarah was discharged in early December, just in time for summer. She moved back into the Paddington house. Locks changed again, this time by her. The Newstead flat was pulled off the market, title safely restored to her name. Jake came home permanently a week before Christmas, his bedroom exactly as he'd left it. They decorated a cheap Bunnings tree together, fairy lights tangled, laughing when half the strand didn't work. Beck stayed for the first night, cooking snags on the barbie, cracking open beers on the veranda while the kids played under the frangipani. Karen next door kept her curtains firmly shut. Lisa's trial date was set for the new year. Whatever happened, Sarah knew one thing for certain: she'd survived the worst betrayal imaginable and come out stronger. As she tucked Jake into bed that first night home, he whispered, "No one's taking me again, right, Mum?" She kissed his forehead, fierce and sure. "Never, mate. Not while I've got breath in my body." Outside, cicadas screamed in the jacarandas, and for the first time in a long time, the little weatherboard house felt like a home again.